Bhairava Kalike Namastute. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo 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 Bhairavaya Jai Madhya, Jai Madhya, Jai Madhya. So good morning, and we are back on yet another video. And today's subject is majorly based on many of the WhatsApp messages and emails that I've received on quantity of sadhana. How many hours should a sadhaka spend? Worry about the procedures. I see a lot of people worried about whether they are going in the right path or not, whether they need to do in a specific ritual, else will they not find benefit in that path. All this is something that I wanted to address today. So, subject of today's video, you could say it as upasana to sadhana to tapasya to vira bhava to oneness with the deity. So this is the general path that you will all be following as you progress in your sadhana, and it is not in a single lifetime. It could take 5 lifetimes, it could take 10, it could also be in a single lifetime. If it is happening in a single lifetime, be very sure that you did not begin in that life. You have always been in this path across lifespans. It could have been across 10 lifespans also. You would have become an animal in between, you could have become a complete non-believer, and you might be in a completely different faith, a system of belief that does not even utter these names that we take today, that does not believe in the Shakti that is called Bhairava, that does not believe in the Shakti that is Ma Adhya, the creator of the Trimurti. You could have been in such a faith in one of your births too, and there is a need for it. So that is why when many people who are, which might be a shock to most of you, many people who are not born in the Hindu way of living, they are also doing the Nama Japa of Bhairava, Ma Kali. And my first question to them would always be, have you completely learnt everything, that good, the bad, the nitty-gritties of the faith that you are born into? Let's say sometimes I get a mail from somebody who is born into a different religion. My first question would be, have you completely learnt and absorbed the teachings of that religion? Because there is a need for it. I have had a birth in a different religion. Even when I was born as a Hindu, I spent time chasing after different religions and the teachings of different religions, because there is a need for it. Spirituality and religion are completely separate topics. However, the teachings of each religion gives you a completely different insight to your jiva. So it is counterproductive if you are going to spend your time while being born into a different religion and trying to be a Hindu. Be a Hindu, but ensure that you completely learn, so that you don't have to repeat that birth again. You completely learn what is set down in that religion, so that you know what is the procedures, the rights, the wrongs, all the teachings from that religion, because it will be very useful as you step into your final few births. Otherwise, you'll have to repeat it. There are some things that you need to learn which will not be given in some other path. So if you are born into that specific arrangement, be very true to it. I have specifically always told this whenever people contact me from after being born into a different setup. I would always very clearly tell them, ensure that you completely master that method. Ensure that you completely take over and learn and absorb whatever is given in that religion, so that there is a reason why you are there. She has put you there for a reason. Learn it. Now, coming to the subject of upasana versus sadhana versus tapasya versus vira bhava, of course, let us keep tapasya and vira bhava aside and begin with upasana and sadhana. And generally, the two very important subdivisions of this subject, that is gyana marga and the bhakti marga. Gyana marga, wherein you are born into a specific kula, you are born into a specific design which puts you into a path where you need to learn the ways of that path. You are taking initiations, and you're forcefully born into a setup where whatever you do is you hold major adhara, you retrieve major adhara from the knowledge branch that you're born into, whereas bhakti marga is majorly free flow, because the adhara is based on bhakti. So let us be very clear that the very fact that all of you are seeking oneness with the deity and roaming all over internet, Physically, you don't have to roam anymore. Things have been made easy by designs of Kali Yuga. So you don't have to roam and walk into Himalayas and go search for sadhus in the forests anymore. They come to your living room, they come to your bedroom today, and you're able to sit and watch them while getting other parts of your life in order. That is a blessing. So knowledge is being given right at your doorstep. However, please understand that Sri Krishna has very clearly demarcated that after 5,125 years of Kali Yuga, the Gyana marga begins to collapse, because Gyana marga, if somebody is coming in the Gyana marga, that Gyana of spiritual wealth, that has to be kept at the highest. It's not your engineering degree, not your BCom degree, not your MBA. You should have spent, say if you are spending 10 hours a day at your workplace, and it is based on a degree in engineering, let's say, okay, and you also spend a few hours in a week visiting a guru, okay, a guru who imparts knowledge specifically ritualistically. Okay, this side we are all operating in the procedural collapse. I'm talking about the Gyana marga, where you're born and living in a specific design that gives you knowledge, that gives you the vidhis, that says that at this time you need to wake up and do this, and then your hand should be like that, exact mudras and all that. Exactly, that is a Gyana marga itself. That is, in that path, that is how you follow spirituality, in that path. You're born into that. However, your job is not to do anything with that path. You do not use that Gyana and put your whole day into practice of that Gyana. This is collapse of that Gyana marga itself. If I say that you're supposed to hold the mala like this, you're supposed to spend so many hours in meditation, so taking care of the deities, temples and all that. However, you are an engineer. You are pursuing a job which is supposed to give you income, which is supposed to give you a livelihood, and half an hour or 1 hour in a day is itself a big task for you to sit down and practice that branch of knowledge. Then Gyana marga here by itself begins to collapse, because that Gyana marga is no longer the top priority in your life. Your livelihood is a top priority in your life, and your livelihood has broken your Gyana. The definition of Gyana is now that to do with your profession. What is your profession? What is capitalistically placed in front of you is your profession now. It is no longer Gyana. So many people, when they contact me and talk about how do I recite the stava, is one line of stava equal to X amount of mantra and all this. See, do not get into all this. See, I follow Bhakti marga. Anybody taking a mantra from me or guidance from me, upadesha from me, by default you have been placed in the Bhakti marga. That is why you feel the urge to take a mantra from me or follow my upadesha. That is why it is. You cannot bring Gyana marga and Bhakti marga together, because Gyana marga by itself has begun to collapse. That is why the great library is burned down, so that you lose most of the Gyana by itself. Otherwise, everything had a procedure and a prayoga to get yourself. How to get a promotion, there used to be a prayoga. How to grow in life and attain complete oneness with the deity, there were prayogas. Everything has been rendered useless as Kali Yuga progresses, and what will remain? Sri Krishna has been very clear in this. Bhakti. Only Bhakti remains. And how many hours a day should one sit down in sadhana? Is specific procedures very important? Many of you, I noticed that you're still holding multiple forms in hand. You have in Devi, you reciting the mantra of 3 forms. This is going to majorly weaken your ability to absorb her. See, if you're coming in my path and you have taken me as a Manasik Guru, please understand very clearly that I have given the path as the Adhara is Bhairava and the Devi is Adhya. Why do we go to Bhairava and Devi? Adhya, the form that is Adhya, she is the creator of the Trimurti. She is also the creator of Bhairava. Adhya Kali is the creator of Bhairava. Understand very carefully. And her sub-rupa, that is Kali, the main Kali that we all talk about. We don't talk about Adhya Kali when we say Kali. The Kali, or the Guru of the Dasa Mahavidyas, that specific Kali is the consort of Kala Bhairava. Okay, and Kala Bhairava is the highest form of Bhairava itself on the Mrityu Loka. And across the cosmos, he is the highest form. He has sat down and created like a branch of moksha is placed on Mrityu Loka in Kashi. Kashi, not the town, Kashi, but the cosmic space that is called Kasi. Now, when you come into the path of Bhairava, Please understand that the 4 heads of Brahma, the first 4 heads of Brahma also has Bhairava. That is the Vedic path. Bhairava is very much present as the Kshetrapala. He takes care of the Vedic knowledge. Mahadeva has always been the primary caretaker of Vedic knowledge. Mahavishnu has rendered his duties to protect and retain dharma. However, Mahadeva has always been the Kshetrapala of the Vedic knowledge. When the 4 Vedas were very perfectly being established and there is a proper balance between dharma and adharma, Bhairava remains a very latent, unmoving energy. But he is always the Kshetrapala of the 4 Vedic heads. When you move to the 5th, that is when Brahma was no longer able to contain. We have gone through this in multiple videos. What happens? The Kshetrapala comes out. Kshetrapala says that the knowledge that you are trying to dissipate, you are not able to do it. I will do it. And he becomes the Guru. That is why the 5th head is removed and placed on the left hand. Because now everything auspicious becomes inauspicious and everything inauspicious becomes auspicious. So when you continuously come to somebody like me and you talk about the subjects that are there in the 4 Vedic paths, there is a mismatch of energy. For me, it is completely the Bhakti marga. You hold Bhakti above everything and you walk saying that I a greatest fool. I do not know what mistakes I make, but I am walking towards you. It is your duty as a deity to take care of me and tell me that I am coming in the right path. The birds are accepting that. They sit on the mango trees. Like a blind fool, I ran towards you and you would show me the path. That is what it is. So if you try to again think from your engineering brain or from your MBA brain or your doctoral brain and you try to say whether 1, 2, 3 steps are they right or not, this is a sign that probably you should go back to a deity in the first 4 heads of Brahma. Bhairava is there also, but he is only the Kshetrapala there. The 5th head, he becomes the Guru. And who is what is the point of the 5th head? We have already spoken about this. The whole point of the 5th head is Adi Parashakti, Adya. So, when you want to completely attain oneness with Bhairava, the Shakti matters. So every female deity has a Bhairava. We have spoken about this. Everybody knows this. Ma Tara has a Bhairava. Ma Tangi has a Bhairava. Ma Kamala has a Bhairava. However, the Guru, that is Kali, who is placed at the beginning, her consort is the highest form of Bhairava, that is Kala Bhairava. So when he has broken out and brought and held the skull, the 5th head of Brahma and that branch of knowledge he holds within him, and in that Kapala he takes the entire Devaloka's blood in it, very clearly what he, at that moment, that Bhairava, that state of Bhairava is the highest, which means he is the son of Mahadhya and the consort of Kalika. Okay, so which Shakti you attach yourself to matters. So if you are doing the sadhana of Ma Tara, by all means do it. But realize that this is the 4 heads of Brahma. The 5th head that Bhairava holds, his consort is Kalika. And that is why we walk towards Ma Adhya Kali, the creator of Bhairava itself as a Shakti, so that we once and for all remove the confusion or any kind of a discussion at all on which is the higher form, which is the lower form, none of that. Adhya, we directly walk towards the 5th head of Bhairava, Brahma. 5th head of Bhairava itself, because it's in his hand now. It is no longer the Vedic path. He has split it, and who mouths out on Brahma said, who is the one who's doing the mouthing out? As always, the cause. Who is it? Yogamaya. Who is Yogamaya? Mahadhya. So, in the 5th head that Bhairava holds in his hand, the female form that you have to compulsorily venerate is Mahadhya Kali. Kali. Even if you are saying that I go by the Vedic path, even then if Bhairava is the path that you want to take, you go after Ma Kali. Bhairava, when he reached the highest states on this YouTube sphere itself, he wanted the arrival of Ma Kali. Something happened and the way got lost. And we went into Shakti Pitas and all that, that is fine. But now please understand that Kala Bhairava, the consort, and Vatuka Bhairava's consort is also Kali. Both names she has, Kala Bhairava Bharyacha, Vatuka Bhairava Bharyacha is Kali. Not any other form. Is any other form going after any other form wrong? Absolutely not wrong. She will, as people are talking to me more and more, I realize that she is very actively sending people off to their right forms. So somebody out of nowhere started talking about Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. Is it wrong to pray to her? Absolutely not. She has very clearly given you the sign that you are at that stage. Go to her. You are in the Vedic path. Go to her. Somebody talks about Ma Tara, go to her. By all means, go to her. But when the head has broken off Brahma's shoulder and is in the hands of Bhairava, the deity, the female form we talk about is Kali and nobody else. Merely invoking the name of Ma Adhya will give you guidance to the right form of Shakti that you need to invoke, and Bhairava comes behind, after the Shakti. So if you say Ma Tara, you need to look at the Bhairava that is attached to Ma Tara. If you say Ma Matangi, you should look at the Bhairava attached to Ma Matangi. If you say Bhairava has the highest and I look at Bhairava at Kashi, please understand, Kashi, the Bhairava that sits in Kashi, Kala Bhairava and Vattuka Bhairava. She has two names, Kala Bhairava Bharyacha, Vattuka Bhairava Bharyacha, it is Kali. Please end that discussion once and for all. We talk about, please decide in which head of Brahma are you still in. If you are in the first four heads, any form of Devi is absolutely fine, but Bhairava is a Kshetrapala. In the fifth head, he has removed that, plucked himself off completely and said, I will give you this path. You are no longer able to contain the Shakti that is Yogamaya, Ma Adhya. And the mother of that Bhairava who holds that skull is Ma Adhya, and his consort is Kalika. That is something I wanted to establish, but am I saying that it is wrong to go behind any other form of Ma Adhya? Absolutely not wrong. By all means, do it. She has given you the direction that you are that state in your sadhana. Do it. She's very fast. She's very fast. If she's pulling you towards Ma Tara, that is where you are. If she's pulling you towards Ma Kali, you'll very soon sit at the feet of Kala Bhairava, because that is the form. So Mahakali, Mahakala Bhairava. Adya, the creator of Bhairava. This is how it works. So, coming to the subject that I wanted to address today, so she sort of took me out completely to towards the subject that I had not had in mind. I did not even think that I was going to address that, but she sort of took me completely in a separate path. So, coming to the subject of Upasana versus Sadhana, and many of you being in a certain state of confusion where you continuously ask me, am I in the right path? I'm doing X amount this one, how many hours should I put into sadhana? Very beautifully, again, as always, in Kali Yuga, when there is a doubt on life and sadhana, upasana, karma yoga, how to live life, how to conquer your enemies, how to destroy anything, how to keep dharma, everything Sri Krishna says. It is all Sri Krishna. It is Sri Krishna who is the allied form of Ma Kali. Every form of Devi, Ma Tara has an allied form of, in the Dasa Mahavidyas, Ma Tara has an allied form of Vishnu and also a planet attached to it. And similarly, Ma Matangi has an allied form of Mahavishnu and a planet attached to it. However, for Kalika, it is Sri Krishna, the highest state of Parabrahman, that is Mahavishnu's avatara, which is none other than Kalika itself. She begins to reveal her present state little by little in that state and begins to show that everything is Devi. So that is why Krishna, you will find all of his names, all of his right from his body to all the characters around his life are all names of Adya Kali. So she begins to reveal herself, and it is time that you need to completely accept and understand that everything ultimately is Adya. See, again I divert. The moment I touch into her subject, I decide to talk on a specific subject, and the moment I touch into hers, it streamlines out of by her will. So, here again we go back to Sri Krishna's message on what is Upasana and what is Sadhana. How many hours will a Sadhaka or Upasaka be able to spend in sadhana, and whether the number of hours or the volume of sadhana, does it matter? Volume versus quality, what is actually that matters? Sri Krishna very beautifully, back to back, he ensures that there is a single doubt that comes into your head, he will have an answer. He is operating at a phase wherein we have not yet reached. 1,000 years later, some of you might be taking a rebirth to come and give these branches of knowledge, these vidyas, as some really big guru. You might have a second birth or third birth as some extremely powerful guru after 200 years. Some of you might choose to take a birth after 10,000 years, because once you attain the state of moksha, you come back only to establish dharma and not for anything else. A little bit of karma is purposely kept pending, like Sri Krishna, Sri Rama ensured that, he gave a boon to Vali, and he came back as Sri Krishna sat under the tree, got himself hit with the arrow from Jara, who is none other than the rebirth of Vali. So like that, you will place a karma which gives you that portal to come back in an avatara. So you will also be able to do this. And some of you will definitely be back as great gurus in 200 or 300 years. So be very sure of that. So the messages of Sri Krishna, 1000 years later, something else will open up. He has already put everything here, but what we need today alone, you will be able to see. What you need after 10,000 years, again, his messages today will give an esoteric meaning that will completely blow your mind, which today will not be able to glean. That is the Leela of Mahadhya. That is the Leela of Sri Krishna. Anyway, once a debate came up in the mind of Arjuna, and he had asked Sri Krishna on who the greatest bhakta of Mahadeva is, and Sri Krishna asked Arjuna to take a walk with him into the forest. There they see a very dangerous looking a bhuta, a very dangerous looking demonic entity that is pushing a cart and going through the forest. Sri Krishna and Arjuna try to stop him, especially Arjuna tries to stop this very weird looking person, and he asks, what is this cart full of flowers that you're taking? To whom are you taking this? And then he just waves them off and he keeps on walking into the forest. So Sri Krishna will come, let's follow him. As they follow him, they realize that there are thousands of carts full of flowers and it is being wheeled into the forest. And then the person just, the bhuta, the demonic entity that is pushing these carts, just looks around at Arjuna and he says, what is it that you want? I don't have time to speak. He says, whose flowers are these? For whom are you taking all these flowers? He answers in one question. There's the second Pandava, Bhima. These are all the offerings that he makes to Mahadeva. We are taking it to him. Arjuna is shocked. And then he asks Sri Krishna, what is the meaning behind this? Arjuna is a great bhakta of Mahadeva. In fact, the entire Vanavasa and even before Vanavasa, he spent so many hours. So, on one side, he would practice his bodily art, which is archery, dharma, and the other side, he would spend hours and hours together plucking flowers from the forests, ensuring that each flower is perfect. He would roam around the forest thinking about Mahadeva and plucking the flowers specifically to attain oneness with Mahadeva. So Arjuna prided himself to such an extent that he thought that he was the greatest bhakta of Mahadeva on planet Earth at that moment. And most likely he was too. However, Sri Krishna had given him a message. So Arjuna, who ensured that when each flower was placed on the lingam, he would invoke Mahadeva and request and plead for oneness with him and place the flower on the lingam. He spent hours together. His ucharan were perfect. His absolute perfect ucharan. He would do the anganyasas perfectly. They're all Dikshit. He would do the perfect mantras, mala after mala, hours and hours and hours and hours together spent in the sadhana of Mahadeva. However, here in the forest, they had seen a creature that is taking all these flowers and going towards Kailasha with carts and carts of flowers. Arjuna couldn't even believe that there could be so many flowers in the forest, because he had to search for so many hours to take 1,000 flowers per day. He had to search for so many hours. He was shocked. Sri Krishna reveals the secret to him, saying that, hey Arjuna, you sat in front of the lingam, walked for hours together, took each flower, followed the perfect ucharana, followed the perfect vidhi, and offered each flower to the lingam. However, Bhima, what did Bhima do? Bhima's entire sadhana was limited to this. When he was absolutely sitting down, what is Bhima famous for? His voracious strength and his extreme appetite. So when Bhima sat down and he was about to consume his food, he sat there in great anticipation. Bhima would at that minute pause for only one thing. He would pause, he would not touch his meal, he would sit there, place his finger on his third eye, and he with full devotion and complete focus. It is said that when Bhima used to sit down and think of Mahadeva before he had his meal, every time Bhima consumed a mouthful of food, he would think of Mahadeva. And when he placed it there, the concentration was such that the all the Shakti that he put into consumption of that meal, all that devotion towards food that he had was offered to Mahadeva, which is equivalent to thousands of carts full of flowers, whereas Arjuna had to walk in the forest for hours together to gather a few flowers. 1,000 flowers. If Arjuna was offering 1,000 flowers per day, he had to walk in the forest for thousands of steps, collect each flower. Whereas Bhima, when he sat there and he offered his most favorite, what is Bhima's most favorite thing? Food. That moment, his bhakti was such that, like that, everything, every drop of food he was showering on Mahadeva. Which means, very beautifully, the answer here is that in Kali Yuga, that which is your most favorite thing that you live and walk around, when you offer even that to your Ishta, as you walk around, please walk as if you are exploring a mall and you're looking at all these shops. In life, that is how you should live in Kali Yuga. You have a problem today, you are exploring that problem, submit that, surrender that to your Ishta. You have a great moment, you're watching a movie in the theater, surrender that to your Ishta. Every minute think of your Ishta. Thank you for this excellent, pleasurable moment that I'm having in this theater as I sit here and watch this movie with you. Everything. So that, in spite of spending hours, so Arjuna here follows the gyana marga and he's absolutely well received by Mahadeva, but Mahadeva is only taking those 1,000 flowers that Arjuna is offering in that cart. However, for Bhima, all that love towards the food that he has is being offered to Mahadeva because he possesses that and he offers it to Mahadeva and then consumes it. So he ideally what he's doing is, as he places here his finger here and he propitiates Mahadeva, is that he's actually calling Mahadeva within him, and each food, each drop of rice that he's consuming is now being offered to Mahadeva as an abhisheka. And what Bhima is, very beautifully what Bhima is telling us here is that the body itself, he is invoking Mahadeva within and living, breathing as Mahadeva, walking around as Mahadeva. And each Bhima eats a lot. Each grain of rice is an abhisheka to Mahadeva. But what has he done? He has literally only sat there and enjoyed his meal, but he is eating it with Mahadeva. Bhakti. Gyana marga versus bhakti. Gyana will collapse. The gyana marga will collapse in Kali Yuga because you're born as an engineer, you're born as a MBA. I'm saying born as an engineer and MBA because today you are not putting all your effort into attaining gyana about the vidhis or the Vedas, nothing. Even if you're born into a family wherein you're supposed to sit for hours and learn the Vedas, all the vidhis on how to perform pujas, all the prayogas, you're not doing it. You spend more hours learning how to be an engineer, learning how to be a doctor, learning how to be a scientist, learning how to be a teacher, completing your PhD, thinking of what human accepted standard of knowledge that you need to gain next. Even if you're born in the specific kula where you're supposed to take all the vidya on a specific deities, sadhana vidhi, you're not spending more time on that, you're spending more time on a human defined term called knowledge, which means human defined term of knowledge, degree is here, and even if you're born in that kula, you don't spend that much time chasing after that. So gyana marga by itself has collapsed. Gyana, the definition of gyana itself is gone. Somebody had texted me asking, in the sthava that I had given as part of the vidhi, Adhyakali sthava, is one line equal to X mantra, what is the calculation? Pointless. You are following the bhakti marga, you are following the marga of what Sri Krishna defined to Arjuna itself, that bhakti marga will be the highest state of sadhana vidhi. Arjuna had to go through a lot of pain and struggles because he had the duty of establishing dharma that would be spoken till the end of Kali Yuga. So he had to burn and break down. However, Bhima, very beautifully, he lives, breathes within himself. So two beautiful examples. Arjuna right now, if you say that, you can say that why was he chosen as the ultimate Nayaka who will be spoken across yugas and yugas. Every realm will have an Arjuna who will be spoken about. Then who followed the Gyana Marga, and then Bhima who followed the Bhakti Marga. If you're saying that in this example, Bhima is more Shrestha, how? Whereas he follows the Gyana Marga, he had to set Dharma, he had to embody Shakti, he had to become Vrihanala, he had to enter the battlefield and set the Dharma in place and give the message of Gita. His duty itself was towards the yugas. Such a person would be maybe 1 in a crore. Rest of us all are here, Bhima, to live, breathe and attain moksha at a personal level. We might not be tasked with setting Dharma across realms or across the yugas. Arjuna, not everybody is going to become Arjuna, but everybody must, in the path of sadhana, must become Bhima. Within ourselves, we should be at the highest state of oneness with our Ishta. So, when there is something that you're absolutely in love with, anything, I cannot define what you are in absolute love with. Before that, invoke your Ishta and offer it completely to them. So every drop of rice Bhima ate, every single particle of the laddu that he ate, he was actually offering to Mahadeva because he was invoking him. And hence, his offering was accepted more than Arjuna itself. So Gyana Marga versus Bhakti Marga, please understand, if you're following the vidhis that I have given, it is Bhakti Marga. It is not Gyana Marga. Bhakti Marga will trump Gyana Marga, because Gyana Marga, if you're going to follow, you will have to place Gyana of that branch of knowledge more higher than your engineering, higher than your MBA, higher than your doctorate. Can you do it? Kali Yuga has come in such a way that Kali ensures that you cannot take Gyana like before, because the Gurukulas will collapse, the Sampradayas will collapse. It has been infiltrated by people of lesser virtues. Some of the greatest mathas today are under litigation. There are cases running in Supreme Court saying that the title of, is it not very clearly being shown in front of your eyes that Kali has infiltrated the Sampradayas, but Kali can never infiltrate there where the deity is directly present, which is within you. Kali can never infiltrate within you. Sampradayas might break, everything might break. Gyana Marga has broken. Gyana Marga has completely broken, and Shri Krishna told you this. Bade Sampradaya will stand like this, but when the rock came rolling, you had to go back to my episode of Shri Krishna and his 4 arrows. I have spoken about that. When the rock comes rolling, it is only that all the big trees will fall off and only the small plant survives. And what is that? Nama Japa. What is Nama Japa? Bhakti Marga. What is what Bhima did? Bhima merely invokes the Nama of Mahadeva while he consumes his food, and thereby every drop of grain of rice as he celebrates his body is offered to Mahadeva. Mahadeva sits within him and consumes the rice. Bhima doesn't sit and do the Abhisheka. However, he lives and breathes and brings Mahadeva within him and enjoys the food as if Mahadeva himself is given him the opportunity and eating through him. That is the Bhakti Marga. So, how many hours should you sit for sadhana? From morning you wake up till the last minute you go to sleep, be with your deity, within you, through you. So how many hours you sit? It will be half an hour you sit. But does switching off and sitting away from your daily life, even for a few hours, matter? Yes, it does. Switch off from your daily life. If you might be the most busiest person for 24 hours, but switching off in the morning for 15 minutes and in the night for 15-20 minutes and placing and sitting down in your asana allows your deity to sit within you. However, that does not mean that you sit for 6 hours, 7 hours, because it will not work. You have karma to burn. That is, they are still around in Kali Yuga. You still have a physical body because you have physical desires. You have physical karma to burn. You live your life like Bhima, enjoy it completely. There is absolutely no vices. Whatever you do with absolute interest, invoke Mahadeva within it. Bhakti Marga. Gyana Marga. If Gyana Marga is your Marga, you cannot keep your engineering degree, MBA, doctorate above the Gyana. That has to be the highest. Gyana has to be kept at the highest. You will quest after that only. You will have to unplug completely and break down and walk out. That cannot happen in Kali Yuga because you all are specifically placed into arrangements where you cannot unplug. Your engineering degree and your IT job or your doctorate, as a doctor, when you treat your physicians, are all part of your karmic design and you've been placed here. So what is the only path that can happen successfully in Kali Yuga is Bhakti Marga. Of course, 1 in a crore will have to do what Arjuna did. He will have to embody Vrihanala. He'll have to talk about the Devas and propagate the rightful way of living. Arjuna will have to burn like the wick. He will have to become ashes. He had the most painful dharma karya placed before him. He had to take a different path. Gyana had to be there. Bhakti had to be there. Pain of practice had to be there. However, Bhima, as he sat and relaxed and enjoyed his life, he was given the Shakti of 1,000 elephants. He was given the ability to just enjoy his life itself and dedicated fully to Mahadeva. Even every rice particle he ate was an Abhisheka to Mahadeva. So Bhakti Marga, unless you are Arjuna and you are chosen to spread light, then you have to walk the painful path. Otherwise, Bhakti Marga will work for everybody. Everybody. However, you'll have to remember that you'll have to be as sincere to be your Ishta as Bhima was. So, I was listening to the pravachan of Guru, and very beautifully he summarized, he gave an example. He asked a question to the audience. He asked, there is a fruit vendor, vegetable and fruit vendor who was selling fruits and vegetables for the last 30 years. So when you are 5 years old, you saw a fruit vendor. When you're 10 years old, so the fruit vendor or vegetable vendor was selling fruits very happily from the small shop that they had. When you completed your college also, the shop was there and the fruit or vegetable vendor was very happily doing the business. Never scaled up. Now you are in your 30s and you still see the person there, very old, but still happily opening the shop every day, closing it happily, going home every day, peacefully. Now, the Guru asked a question, is this person successful or is he a failure? Many people answered that yes, he is not a successful businessman because he has not been able to scale it, he has not been able to go higher. He has not been able to attain higher levels. He had to, how long will a person be satisfied having a small shop? He has not attained grandeur. He has not attained the stages where he was able to grow as he wished to grow. So he is a failure. Many people answered, but the Guru very beautifully, he summarizes and says that to be at peace, doing something that gives you peace without being able to prove to the society that you have grown, but you are at peace. Doing the same thing for 30 years, that is the deity's greatest boon on you. You have been kept aside very safely in a corner and allowed to be at peace in your small surrounding, in a small dwelling, in a small definition of business. That is the deity's blessing. It is Sri Krishna who has kept him so well. So the fruit seller, who is a Bhakta of Sri Krishna, is actually at the highest state of Ananda. He is absolutely at peace. You cannot call and say that he has achieved nothing. It is not that only if he places a supermarket, only if his business has an app and 10-15 delivery boys, only then he attains peace. Thousands of crores in the account only will give him peace. No. That which is karmically meant to happen is happening in his life and he is at absolute peace. That is why for 30 years he has never felt the urge to grow. So when you look around and see people who are like this, please understand that they might be the most blessed people. Definition of blessing is not scaling up inside your life itself. It could simply mean that you and a small shop that is stable and just continuing for 30 years, you might be the most blessed being. Is it not a blessing? Similarly, the Guru very beautifully explains, somebody who is able to read one chapter of the Gita every day for 30 years is still under the kripa of the deity, which means even if you are doing a nama japa, one mala per day while living life, every day waking up, going by your business, going by your job, having a child, going by your family, not whether or not you intend to get married, being at peace with yourself without the urge to quest after things, that person is also very much blessed. So definition of success is longevity. 30 years of peacefully being able to read the Gita is longevity of sadhana. It's a blessing of the deity. One chapter of Gita per day if you are able to read, one mala of Bhairava that you are able to do, one chapter of Adhya Kalistava you are able to read once. That is the blessing of the deity. Otherwise it will not continue. Now look whether you can do it for 30 years. That is where the question arises without any stability. Question should not arise. When the deity has touched your head and has given you the peace, questions do not arise. The vegetable vendor could have very easily taken a loan, tried to expand the business. She did not. She sat there. She took the Krishna Nama. Her everything was Krishna. She took the Krishna Nama very peacefully. She's selling vegetables at the corner, very small shop, for 30 years. She aged and she finally passes away. That is the blessing and kripa of the deity. So even if you are able to do the Adhya Kali's tava only once, please understand, to be able to do it for 30 years, she's kept her hand on your head. You are untouchable, unstoppable, keep going. You don't have to think whether I will be able to sit like Arjuna, whether I will be able to do 6 hours of Abhishekam, 600 flowers per day, 6 hours of this, that, this vidhi, that vidhi, this mala, new mantras. That is not a good sign. You don't have to quest and run after knowledge. Have all your devotion on that one mala that you do. On that one mala that you do per day. Tell your deity that till the day I am alive, be it 30 more years or 40 more years or 50 more years, keep me well so that I can do it till the last day of my life. That one mala is more than sufficient because the deity's hand is on your head. Without earning additional karma, burning all the karma that you have incurred, establishing dharma, finishing off all the desires and karma that is there in the blood that gave you the body. If you can survive for 30-40 years with one mala, you are successful. The answer is given by Bhima. Not everybody will be Arjuna. Some will lead a very happy, glorious life in the corner, enjoying their body, enjoying their physical urges, eating food as they wish. But if you dedicate every drop of grain that you consume to your Ishta, you are absolutely blessed and you will have moksha. Don't look for complex vidhis and next, what is next? When I gave the Adhya Kali Upasana, everybody started emailing, I want the yoginis names, but only 2 people came back and followed the full vidhi. Only 2 people have mailed me or came back to me because that vidhi was very, very complex and I gave it like that on purpose to see whether you will be able to successfully do that vidhi 64 times tava. Multiple malas of Om Adhyaye Namah. I said, I will not give you the names of the yoginis until you come back to me. But as soon as I gave the vidhi, everybody wanted the yoginis' names. Yes, it is available on internet. It's not empowered by me. But only 2 people came back because trust it. Because not everybody is supposed to walk in that path of Arjuna. Some of you will be happy. You'll be like in eternal bliss, living like Bhima. All that Shakti that he possessed is given by Mahadeva himself. It is his blessing. And what did he do? He embodied Mahadeva within. Every grain of rice he consumed was Mahadeva consuming his rice. And the Bhutas and the demons were, this man called Bhima is the greatest Bhakta of Mahadeva on this planet. And each grain that he offers, is equivalent to a flower cart. A whole cart. And Arjuna, poor Arjuna who walked for so many hours through the forest picking physical flowers, who was priding himself, as I take this flower. If this pen is a flower that Arjuna was plucking for Mahadeva, he looked at this flower and see, I am so great. I got this excellent flower that I will now offer to Mahadeva. Another flower. Beautiful. So what he ideally did is taking pride and telling Mahadeva, see Mahadeva, see what all I am doing for you. Whereas what Bhima did, Mahadeva, you are fully within me, you get inside me and consume this food which I will stop for nobody. Nobody on earth will I stop my food for. However, for you, I have stopped and I am invoking you and I am offering it to you. And he placed his hand there and gave all that food to Mahadeva. All that food he gave to Mahadeva. Bhakti marga versus gyana marga. 30 years as a vegetable vendor sitting in the corner, defined by society as a failure. In Kali Yuga, if the society is calling you a failure, please think. It is Kali Yuga. Definition of success is not going to be a very good definition to hold. In Kali Yuga, to be called a failure, sit back and analyze, has Sri Krishna, has your Ishta, Ma Kali, Mahadeva kept you in such a way that sit in a corner, child, enjoy life. Think of me 24/7, I'll keep you well. Have you been granted this ability, then be like Bhima. Not everybody needs to be Arjuna. Some of you are very worried about keeping the appearance of a sadhaka. So, now we diverge a little bit. I will go into detail on upasana versus sadhana versus tapasya versus the vira bhava, and then becoming the deity itself, living, breathing and walking as the deity itself in a separate video. I wanted to, but I believe we have already crossed quite a long, it's become quite a long video, and it takes many hours to upload even if it crosses 40 minutes. I will get back into that subject again by Haradesh. So some of you are very worried about keeping your appearances. Let me address this subject. Does appearance matter? In sadhana, are you supposed to dress like a monk? Only then you are pious and all that. Please understand the gyana marga that defined how you should dress, walk, everything has collapsed. When you sit down for your deity, you are actually unplugging yourself from the designs of Kali Yuga and placing yourself on an asana in front of the photograph. At that moment, you are within the gyana marga. Gyana marga, you're sitting there. You hold the knowledge within and follow it. At that moment, dress as you would for the deity. Rest of the time, be true to your birth. If you're in the role of a banker, if you're on the role of an IT professional, be true to that. There is no need for you to always maintain an appearance of being in sadhana. Be careful and be ensuring that you are not trying to dress up to the appearance of a sadhaka. You are not going as per the definition. So it's a small story on this. So, these days people think that the term agori means to specifically dress like somebody who evokes a certain fear, or you have to look, you have to place your hair full of bhasma, you have to put bhasma all over your face, you have to sit in a smashana, only then you're an agori. No. Agori is he who looks at every facet of the life that this Mrityu-loka throws at him and looks at all of it at the state of the Bhairava, that is without fear. Aghora. He no longer sees the most disgusting, dangerous, dirty or beautiful, everything else with a single state of mind, that is shunyata. That is an agori. He doesn't dress in a specific manner. There is no need for him to dress in a specific manner. So I was very amused when somebody told me that a perfume is being sold in the name of agori. Of course, all respects to the perfume manufacturer, he is doing his dharma. He has done his research, and very beautifully in the advertisement he says that if you put this perfume, you will smell like cannabis, you will smell like tobacco, like the homa, the smell of the homa will be all over you, and all that, and that is the definition of how an agori smells. So what I'm telling you is, do not keep appearances. You can be an agori and absolutely smell like the most latest perfume, walk around wearing suit and blazer, normal casual clothing, jeans and t-shirt. Definition of an agori is not how he appears. By all means, if you see me in person, you will never know. And okay, due to the hair, probably you might get a little bit of hint. Otherwise, sometimes I do not even wear this in person, because there is no need to keep the appearance. If I am in the samsara, I am not at that moment in my garbhagriha, and I have been made like this. I have been given the body, I have been given if I am going to a job, an ID card has been placed around my neck. I will be true to that. The answer for this was not given by me. Again, Mahaguru, Vishwa Guru, the Guru of the deities, the Guru of the Deva Loka itself has given this message. When? I'll take another 10 minutes probably. Video is already going too long. But the subject of appearances is very important. So, like the sincere manufacturer of that perfume, he did his research and realized that tobacco, cannabis, homa, the smell that comes out of all the samagris burning is what defines an agori. Let me tell you, after Ma Parvati's tapasya, the Sapta Rishis do her interview and realize that yes, she is absolutely fit to be the consort of Mahadeva. Brahma, everybody appear, Kamadeva gets burnt, and finally Mahadeva agrees and says that okay, I will marry you. And the entire the three lokas are celebrating. Finally, everybody in the Deva Loka starts dressing up for the occasion. Indra Deva, Mahavishnu, everybody is dressing up in the most grand manner. Entire Deva Loka is glittering and looking dressed for the occasion. And Mahadeva and Mahavishnu, Brahma, everybody tell the Bhuta Ganas of Mahadeva, ensure that Mahadeva is also dressed, okay, because we know how he is. He will sit in the Mahasmashana, he on him the ashes of the Mrityu Loka as well as the ashes of the dead Devas, because even Devas have lifespan. Even Brahma Deva, Mahavishnu has an end, but Mahadeva has no end. So all that ashes across realms, in some realm Brahma has ended, in some realm Mahavishnu has ended, and all this ashes is smeared on Sadashiva. So when Brahma and Vishnu will well aware, and the entire Devaloka instructs the Bhuta Ganas, ensure that he is dressed as per the ceremonies. Okay, don't let him come like that itself. Bhutas are like, okay, okay, we will dress him up. So they are genuine to their birth. So what they do, they smear ashes on him, more ashes on him. They take all the carcasses of dead elephants and dead animals, dead humans, everything together. They adore Mahadeva, who sits in deep state of meditation. He's getting himself dressed as per the definition of Devaloka. What does he do? He wears a dead elephant skin, he wears dead scorpions all over his hair. Bhuta see, okay, something we have to put some earring for Mahadeva. What do we do? Put some scorpion into his ears. What about the mala? Okay, all these skeletons, they're so beautiful. What can be more beautiful than a skeleton? Put a skeleton mala on his neck. Beautiful, come, let's go. So everybody is walking. Mahadeva is looking so odd right now that the Devaloka, everybody is like, oh my, what is this? This is the Dulha. The Dulha looks like this. Dulha cannot fit anywhere right now. They are so embarrassed that the entire Devaloka begins to walk in front of the Dulha, so that they are far off and they don't even want to be seen in the same place, because they themselves are not able to accept that Mahadeva looks even worse than what he was. As per their definition, he looks even worse than what he was before. Full of, they don't know what to do. As they enter the venue, everybody looks at Mahavishnu and look at him, so handsome. Mahavishnu, so handsome. Everybody thinks he is the groom. Everybody salutes to him. Mahavishnu says, wait, I am not the groom. The groom is coming behind. He's on Nandishvara, a very scary, huge bull. On him there is an even scarier being sitting. That is the groom. Yeah, from him ashes are always falling. When he shakes his head, ashes of the Devaloka itself is spreading in the air. That person is coming. But please, prepare yourself a little. Mahavishnu, even at that time, out of his kindness, he wants to ensure that everybody who's there in the venue, all the guests are kept safe. What he says, everybody please, prepare yourself. Groom is coming. Everybody thinks, okay, wow, groom is coming. Such a handsome Bharati. The Bharati is so handsome. Then I just imagine how the groom will look. My God. Mahavishnu is worried. Wait, please prepare yourself. The one who's sitting on the extremely powerful looking bull, Nandishwara, he is the groom. But please reduce your expectations a little bit. Please calm down so that you don't get a shock and you don't faint. Mahadeva and Nandishwara walk in. The entire Sabha is in terror, because they're looking at Kala himself, absolutely full of insects and ghouls and ghosts, just celebrating all the eerie noises that somebody couldn't even bear in a smashana. Imagine smashanas across realms, everything put together in one mass, one black mass. That is Mahadeva, and he's very happily sitting in front of Nandishwara, and is walking into the venue with great pride. Here there's a very beautiful message that Mahadeva by himself, he is at that state and he's dressed like that. Okay. However, upon Ma Parvati's mother fainting, Ma Parvati walks up to Mahadeva and makes him a request. Today, for me, kindly dress yourself to the status of a groom that is fit for this occasion. And what does Mahadeva do? Okay, I am like this. But all of these people expect me to appear as a very handsome Dulha, groom. I will do that. Just like that, he converts himself into the Sundaramurti, the most handsome being ever seen in the Devaloka itself. Even Mahavishnu looks at Mahadeva in utter shock. Look at this man. I am falling in love with him. Mahadeva is so handsome that Mahavishnu, the embodiment of the male form of Shakti, Mahadya Shakti Rupa in the male form, Mahavishnu begins to fall in love with Mahadeva. What a handsome being. And he gets down from Nandishwara and he walks. Everybody is lost and gone mad now because they've never seen beauty like that. He walks in and divine union between Mahadeva and Mahaparvati happens. So, very beautiful what he says is dress to the occasion. You do not have to walk into your office, you do not have to worry whether putting that costly perfume, dressing yourself up and all is going to be, it's going to destroy your sadhana. No, it is not. You are born, you have come here, happily dress yourself at your most grandest manner. There is no need for you to appear as if you come from the smashana. You can absolutely celebrate your looks. You can absolutely take care of your hair. You can absolutely take care of your, completely keep yourself at the grandest state. Here there is also another message. Ma Parvati, the embodiment of Shakti, at that moment she is looking at Mahadeva, and how does she ask Mahadeva to appear? At your best. So how does Ma Parvati want you to look as her bhakta? At your best. Your deity might be sitting with the Digambara, with the karma hanging as a skirt. However, she will absolutely enjoy you when you walk around in the samsara at your best. Beauty at your best. Take care of your skin, take care of your hair, take care of your health. Go to the gym, work out and look at your grandest best. But when you sit in front of her on your asana, be Digambara like her. There is an esoteric meaning in this. Close your doors and be Digambara in front of Ma Adhya. However, when you walk in the samsara, be Sundar Murti. Embody beauty, grandeur, calmness. Walk into a room knowing fully well that you embody Mahadeva as Sundara Murti as you walk in samsara. However, when you sit in front of Mahadhya, be Digambara. There is a message in this. Watch this video a few times. You do not have to go by the definitions of the agori, that the world thinks agori looks like this and agori looks like that. Then what are we? Calm down, enjoy life, be like Bhima. Not everybody will be Arjuna. And Bhima is absolutely equally and higher. Mahadeva considers Bhima as a higher devotee than Arjuna. What more do you want? What more proof do you want? When you're living and breathing, every breath that you take is a dedication to your Ishta. Absolutely be without any worry that he keeps you higher than somebody who's born into a gula and going on as per the exact vidhi, how to hold the mala, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, exactly by the one who celebrates Mahadeva in every breath, he is kept at the highest. Remember this. And when you walk in samsara, what did Ma Parvati tell? For this occasion, please be dressed to the occasion. You don't have to walk around like this. Be dressed to your purpose. Be dressed to your birth. You're born and you came all the way and became a doctor. Be blessed and live as how a doctor or how an IT professional or how a student looks. Wear your jeans, wear your whatever it is that you consider fashion. Enjoy it. Don't come back with regrets thinking that I never did all that. Now I have to do all that. Even Mahadeva at his highest Sadashiva state, dressed to the occasion. So I think I'm done for today. I wanted to address many more topics, but it's already gone into an hour. Bhairava Kalike, Namostute. Om Namo Bhairava, Namo 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 Bhairava. Om Kalike, Jaya Madhya. Jaya Madhya. Jaya Madhya. Jaya Madhya.